Hey guys, welcome back. This is going to be new grammar for cycle 3, week 9, and then at the end I'll share what we did for review. We tried out a new game this week. First we used our little monsters to find our locations on our colored map. So we found the locations and we did things like stood on our heads, touched the state with just one hand, bit it. You can do all different things with your little finger puppets. I got these from Dollar Tree, but I will link some similar ones you can get on Amazon if you can't find them at Dollar Tree. So with our finger puppets, we said the name of the state in capital 3 times for each state. And we just said it back to back, like Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah, Salt Lake City. Then after that, we got out our black line maps. We drew a salt shaker in Utah. We put an S with some dots at the top. We saw a phoenix in the air in Arizona, Phoenix. And the reason I say the state first and then the capital is because that's how the song goes that we're using in the class to help us later when we have to draw it from memory. We'll say the state names first. I'll share the link to that song in the description as well. Okay, so we took a car with our son to the city in Nevada, Carson City, Nevada. So we drew a little car here on the incline of Nevada. And then we found a sack of Mentos in Sacramento, California. So we made California look like a sack by drawing a little tie on it. And then for Hawaii, we met some girls named Hana and Lulu in Hawaii. So we drew 2 little people down here, Hawaii, Honolulu. So that was show me, and then for tell me, I would say find the state that has the S in it. What is the state and capital for that? Then they would say the state and capital and erase it. Then all the kids kept their monsters to use on our 15s here for math. So as we listened through the song, we moved our monster onto all the different numbers we heard in the song. The first time we just pointed, and then the second time I had them use the hand of the monster, just try and touch each number with just the hand to keep it interesting. Then after that, we pushed in our chairs and stood up, and as we listened to the song, we marched around the table like soldiers, and they could march like this or they could salute, whatever they felt like doing. And then I had them crawl around the table after that because they were pretending to be ants, because the tune is kind of like the ants go marching. Oh, and I used the opportunity when they were marching around. I just held my little baggie open and had them drop their monsters in as they came by. That way we didn't have to spend as much time collecting things up at the end of the song. And then after that, you can have the kids come up to the board, take turns circling the numbers. You can have a few kids come up at once and circle different numbers. Then as you sing through the song, when you get to those numbers, you can whisper them. Then after that, we did Latin. This week we're starting a song that we're going to do for the next few weeks. So it's to the tune of Yankee Doodle, which we know well since we're in cycle 3, and that's what we're playing on our tin whistle. So it goes like this. Latin verbs have different endings called conjugations. And for verbs, we put our arms up in a V, and for conjugations, we made a C with our arms. So again, it goes like this. Latin verbs have different endings called conjugations. For timeline, we did abbreviated hand motions. I get these hand motions from the Learning Center on CC, so we're trying to stay consistent with what CC communities are doing across the country. We just aren't doing all the hand motions because it's a lot for us to learn all at once. So on those hand motions on the video on Learning Center, she suggests, like during the music parts, just snapping and dancing. So we did that. And then there's a part for Zanj and early Ghana in Africa. Right after they say that in the song, there's like a drum solo. So we drummed, the kids drummed the table and had a great time with that. So here's what we did for the abbreviated hand motions. 500 AD, you do a 5 and then a C. For Emperor, we took our E hand, this is E in ASL, from the shoulder down to the hip, like a sash. Emperor, and then Justinian, we do a ASL J, so you're just drawing a J with your pinky. For monasticism, we put a hood over our head, just like you can see in the picture in the timeline card. So you put the hood over your head for monasticism. For Founds Islam, we did a sign for Islam, which is like knees kneeling to pray on your palm, so Islam. For Zanj and early Ghana, you make your thumbs touch your forefingers kind of flat like this, and you go back and forth like you're trading. For Defeat Muslims, you do the sign that we did before for Conquer. So your elbow on your hand and your fist falls down. And then Battle of Tours, we did the sign for war. For Golden Age, we pointed to what we imagine is a gold earring, Golden Age. And then for Islam, we did this again. And for Vikings Raid, you just grab and pull towards yourself. So we went through the song doing the hand motions a few times. Usually I will turn the music off and just have us sing it without the music, but this week's was so jazzy and fun with all the extra music and dancing that we played through the music the few times that we did the hand motions. And then after that, I had handed out cards to 4 of the kids and had them come up and put them back in order on the board. And then I did the same thing with the 4 other kids in class. I used this as a visual aid for the history sentence. You can find this on CC Connected under the Scribbler section for this week. For history, we did hand motions and then a silly story. So for hand motions, we did the Compromise of 1850. I looked it up, and this is the timeline motion that we're going to do. So Compromise of 1850. For Fugitive Slave Act, I just had us run in place. For Dred Scott, we put our hands in chains like this down by our waist. For Preceded the Secession, we put our thumbs over our shoulders. And for Southern States, we pointed down, Southern States. So we sang through the song a few times doing the hand motions. Then I erased the keywords off of the board and I retold the sentence, but I replaced the keywords with silly words. So the kids had to correct me and tell me what the correct words were. So instead of compromise, I said combat wombat. Instead of fugitive slave, I said fruit salad. Instead of Dred Scott, I said shortstop. Instead of secession, I said sneezing. And instead of southern, I said squirrely. And I forgot to tell you, but just to mix it up, after we did the hand motions a few times singing the song, I had the kids do planks on the ground while we sang through the song twice. They really enjoyed it. I think it was good for them, and class didn't get as crazy as it can get when we do different actions like walking around the table, because we do have mostly boys in the class. So this was a good addition, something new I tried in the class, so I think we're going to do more planks in the future. For science, I used this visual aid that I got from CC Connected under the Scribbler section. It's really helpful for the kids to be able to see what we're learning about. So we did hand motions, and it's kind of like a cheer or like a chant. So for lymph vessels, we did an L with our right hand. Lymph vessels, for lymph nodes, we did another L with our left hand. For spleen, we did this, and for thymus, we did a T. So we said lymph vessels, lymph nodes, spleen, thymus. Lymph vessels, lymph nodes, spleen, thymus. We just did that a few times. Last, we did English. So we did a chant to this one this week. It also can be put to Yankee Doodle. We already did Yankee Doodle for Latin, so I didn't want to double up on it, but I'll share with you how the song goes when it's put to Yankee Doodle in case you want to use it. But the first one I'll share is the chant. To lay, lays, laid, laying, laid. To lay, lays, laid, laying, laid. And as we chanted that, we put our heads on our hands like this, like we were laying down. And then we actually got on the ground and laid down while we were chanting it as well. And this is how it goes to Yankee Doodle. To lay, lays, laid, laying, laid. To lay, lays, laid, laying, laid. For review, we played Who Wants to Be a Memory Master, which is modeled after the game Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I don't think any of the kids have seen this show, but they really enjoyed playing it, and it was a fun new structure for us to try out as a game, because we've been doing the same game for like weeks now. So this is a game that we have on campus. We have like a review game box that our director keeps there for us to easily pull from, and that way if any of our parents have to step in as subs, they already know some of the games and how to play them for review, and they can just pull them and play them easily rather than having to prepare everything last minute. So I'm going to put a picture here on the screen of the game, and I'll explain how it's played. So you can see on the picture here, on the left you have team 1 and on the right you have team 2. Every time a team answers a question correctly, they can go up a level. Once they get to level 5, then they can't go below level 5. So if they got level 5 wrong, then they couldn't go back down to level 4. I think the way the game's played on TV is that if you get a question wrong before level 5, you go all the way down to level 1. But how we did it in class is if you got it wrong, you just went down 1 level. And then on this other sheet here, we also have team 1 and team 2. These are the lifelines. Each team can use their lifeline 1 time, so I just used a magnet to mark them off on the board as they used them. The first one is phone a friend. They can ask one person in the class on their team or on the other team to answer the question for them. The second one is new. They can choose to pull a new question, so get rid of the old question they didn't like and pull a new question from the bag. The third one is ask the audience. I said they can ask the parents or people from the other team to help them answer their question. And then the last one is skip. For skip, they got the opportunity to just skip the question altogether. They won't go up a level or down a level. It'll just go to the next team's turn. And for each of the questions, I had one of the parents helped me by taking this bag around to the different teams, and the kids on the teams just took turns. They'd pull one card per turn. You can find these review cards on the CC bookstore. I'll put a link in the description. They're really helpful for review games. I also included the geography cards in here. I don't include the timeline cards just because it's hard to quiz them based on the week for review. So every once in a while for review, I'll just play the timeline song, or we'll sing through the timeline song, or I'll bring the cards in and we'll have to put them in order, and that's our review for the week, or that's like the main part of our review for that week. But yeah, so this week I used the geography cards in this bag. So the kids all had maps in front of them, and when they pulled a geography card, they had to locate the different states and capitals on the map. This week went really well. I feel like we're really getting into our groove. The kids know what to expect, and things are just going smoother. It was a little bit crazy because today's the day after Halloween, and I think everyone had been up late the night before or just eating extra sugar, and we all came dressed in costumes, so that was fun. Are you guys doing anything in your community fun or special for this autumn season? I'm curious. Let me know in the comments what your favorite community tradition is for this time of year. For us, we also usually do a soup potluck around this time of year, so that should be coming up soon, and that'll be fun. But thanks for sticking around. I hope that this was helpful to you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time for week 10.